Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Take 5. It is Friday, August 26th, 2011. We are in Mark chapter 9, verse 9. And as they were coming down the mountain, he charged them to tell no one what they had seen until the Son of Man had risen from the dead. So they kept the matter to themselves, questioning what this rising from the dead might mean. And they asked him, Why do the scribes say that first Elijah must come? And he said to them, Elijah does come first to restore all things. And how is it written of the Son of Man that he should suffer many things and be treated with contempt? But I tell you that Elijah has come, and they did to him whatever they pleased, as it is written of him. Alright, they go up on the mountain. They see Jesus transfigured. They see Moses and Elijah. And Jesus says, you can't tell anybody what you saw till after I've risen from the dead, basically. So they're talking among themselves what that means. And they've got a question. Because, remember, these guys were looking for a Messiah to come. But the predecessor of Messiah would have been Elijah. And that's what the scribes had taught them. And they got that kind of right from the scriptures. The scribes were the experts in the law. So they have a really legitimate question for Jesus. They said, okay, look, you're talking about rising from the dead. That sounds like you're sort of saying you're the Messiah. Well, we're having a hard time believing that because the scribes say Elijah's got to come first. Well, we just saw Elijah up on that mountain with you and Moses. And we haven't seen that guy down here yet. We know that was a special case, and we're not supposed to tell anybody what we saw. But that guy hasn't come and established any kind of ministry to sort of lay the way for the Messiah. So why are they saying that guy's got to come if he doesn't have to come first? And Jesus is saying, well, look, the scribes actually are right on this one, but they're just wrong about the exact person. Because what the scripture teaches is somebody's going to come in the spirit of Elijah. And if you look at Malachi, that's what he talks about. And the actual person who came in the spirit of Elijah was John the Baptist. And the disciples understood that, and you can read that in Matthew. If you read the same account around Matthew 16, 17, somewhere around there, 18, where we read this account. They did understand then that he was talking about John the Baptist. And Jesus said, Elijah's coming, and we've done with him. What's it say? It says, Elijah's coming, they did to him whatever they pleased. And he's talking about John the Baptist and the fact that John was put in prison and then was beheaded because of his strong stand against divorce and remarriage, and his general stand for righteousness. So that's what he's talking about there. Alright? Nevertheless, I don't want you to miss a couple of points there. First of all, we see another reference to John the Baptist, which has been amazing to me how many references there are, and I just missed them. And I've been a Christian a long time and did not realize how much emphasis is put by Jesus on his cousin and good friend John the Baptist. Secondly, we're looking at the resurrection here. We're getting our first glimpse of the resurrection. Jesus has been kind of veiled about it, but now he's getting really specific. The Son of Man is going to be raised again. So that's exciting. Now, he didn't get into all the details of what's going to happen to him. He did talk about that earlier in this chapter, and he'll talk about that again, and of course he will have to go through it all. But the resurrection of Jesus Christ is the most exciting thing that's ever happened in history. So for them to see what they saw on the mountain, and then for him to talk about the fact he's going to be raised from the dead, that is a lot to absorb at one time. And it's a lot for us to absorb. All the miracles of Jesus and the resurrection, it's a lot to absorb, but nevertheless it's true. And we believe he's coming back one day as well, because he was resurrected and he went up to heaven, and he sits at the right hand of his Father, and he's coming back to take us home with him. That's the most exciting news of all. And that's what I leave you with. on today's Take 5. Come back tomorrow for the next edition of Take 5.